What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on why it's actually moving higher and what big money is doing. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Opendoor had a very kick-ass day, went up 16.1%. Even after hours, it is extending that, currently up 3.5%. 504 the low, 607 the high, and a massive amount of volume. So 463 million shares being traded, 296 is the average. As far as data points, similar to yesterday, we actually did have some negative labor data. So ADP came in at 54,000, forecast of 65. Initial jobless claims came in at 237 versus 232 the forecast. So again, similar to yesterday, it's yes, negative, but at the same time, it does justify rate cuts. So potentially with tomorrow's data, so non-farm payroll and also unemployment, we could potentially see a 50 basis point cut anticipated for the September 17th meeting. Currently, there's a 99.4% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, all of which is very good for the broader market as well as Opendoor. Today, there hasn't been any news, no SEC filings or anything like that. A lot of articles really coming out associated to the most recent amended Form 4 that I brought up in my earlier video. But one thing I do want to draw to your attention is what big money is really doing. So I've often enough brought up the flow as well as a lot of individuals. But so you can kind of see the inflow 750, out 781. So I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, how does that make sense? How is there more outflow and with the stock going up as much as it is? One thing that is not ever included on these flows that I feel like a lot of people don't really understand is dark pool transactions, and this is why I bring them up. So it is fair to assume that a lot of these transactions that did occur on the dark pool are actual hedge funds buying. Not just buying, they're buying the hell out of Opendoor. At the same time, shorts could be using dark pool, but based on what we can see, shorts did increase 182,000 shares today. And most likely the reason why they only increased this amount and not potentially more is because there is 0 shares available to be shorted. So things are getting very interesting. And I know a lot of people really don't want to think of Opendoor as a meme stock. They want to think of it as, let's say, a cult or just a legitimate company. But for those of you that do believe in it as a squeeze play or potentially as a meme stock, this is, I think things are going to get very real, very fast, and potentially tomorrow's data could be that light and the fire that really justifies a insane breakout, as I've mentioned on my weekend video. So aside from that, though, like I said, shorts did increase a small amount. 23.82% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 156.7 million shares overall being shorted. Looking at the options, 88 million in calls, 12 million in puts, and then 49% of all the options being done are optimistic and bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you do see a consensus for it to be above 6 for the most part. And then when it comes down to the bears, you see a consensus for it to be sub pretty much 5 to 550. So a lot more upside, and most likely once the market does open tomorrow, you'll see a whole new rush, probably assuming that $7 plus is going to be coming. With tomorrow being Friday, just take note of this. So you have 23,000 in open interest at that 450, 11,000 at 4, 64,000 at that 5, 45,000 at the 550, 42,000 at that 6. So again, best case scenario, you have Opendoor closing above, let's say, that $6.50 or even $7, or I guess best case scenario is above 10. But still, this is where things could get very interesting very fast. As I've mentioned, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So a little bit more different than the dark pool. So dark pool is supposed to stay anonymous for the most part. This is why it's never really included in the flow. But even on the secondary market, a overwhelming amount of buying did happen today. Aside from that, though, with it at 5, where it closed at 5.96, and then after hours is pushing to that 620, Next real target is going to be that 658. So best case scenario, again, you have Opendoor close above that, really pushing it higher. Again, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from that $8 range. And this is something I've mentioned way back when it was getting and flirting with that $4 range. I said easily, if it's able to get above and stay above $4, don't be surprised if you see $6 or potentially all the way up to $8 very soon. Aside from all that fun stuff though, getting back over here, you see not really much for walls for selling. So pretty much around that peak of like that 630 for the most part. A lot of buying going on here, good amount of flow. But on the actual chart itself, there's not really much negatives to really bring up. It's above all the key pivotal moving averages. You can kind of see this beat right here where I did buy a small amount. I wish I would have bought more, but I bought at 470. Like I said, I wish I would have had more. I just made a brand new account with 𝗪𝗧𝗡. And I actually just posted a small account challenge type of thing. And honestly, yeah, I regret not going all in on Opendoor. But nonetheless, though, there still is time. So if you're interested in kind of watching those videos, definitely watch out for them. Small account challenge and whatever else. Aside from that, stochastic RSI, rather neutral in nature. So it's not really overbought nor oversold. So meaning Opendoor can actually continue to move higher as well. And it won't really kind of break the technicals. So yeah, I think big things are coming for Opendoor. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? One thing as well I want to draw to your attention is the profit ratio. Around 99.7% of all the options are in the money. So definitely, like I said, there's a lot of things heating up, and that usually does result in a substantial breakout. Again, something could really push that higher, aka wink wink, the news that does come out tomorrow, or the data points rather. So let me know your thoughts on Opendoor. Have you been buying? Like I said, give yourself a shout out. And then one final thing I wanted to share with you though, if you are interested in some solid buy signals, such as even Opendoor and many others I've kind of indicated as buys, and they've gone up a substantial amount in a short time span, pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. I give out daily day trades as well as numerous amount of swing trades every single week. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.